Hello, my name is Kyndra. Welcome to Frank and Flora. The point of this channel is going to kind of be to inspire people to live a more natural lifestyle. For the first video, I thought it would be good to kind of like introduce to you how I started with a more natural lifestyle. But first things first, it's important to know that I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist, nothing like that. So take what I say, and if you decide to go with something I say, you need to do that at your own risk, because I only have a license in cosmetology, definitely not a PhD in anything. With that said, how I kind of got introduced to a more natural lifestyle was more on the unfortunate side. I feel like a lot of people can resonate with that. A lot of times people don't end up finding like a more natural, chemical-free way of living until something medically like bad happens to them. So with me, it was kind of like a day one situation. I was very, very sick as a baby. As a toddler, as a kid, teenager, like my whole entire life, I was just like ill all the time. There would be like times where I would miss a whole entire week of school because I just could not stop being sick. So a lot of my childhood I spent getting all sorts of tests done, all sorts of doctor's appointments. At one point I was in the emergency room. When I was 18 years old, I was a senior in high school. My mom was like, okay, like no more. At this point I was engaged, so I was about to be a married woman. I was about to be done with high school. I was getting ready to like, fly the coop, become an adult and do it all on my own. And my mom was pretty nervous about that because I really spent a lot of time needing to be taken care of as a kid because I was always sick and she didn't want my adult years to be me being sick all the time. So she figured since no other doctor out there that I ever went to was ever able to figure it out, she took me to a homeopathic doctor in my local area. I went to this doctor and he automatically said she has food allergies. That was the first test that was done. I got a blood test done. It was about 3 weeks to get the results. In the meantime, I was on like a yeast cleanse. And there was a couple of prescriptions I took along with that yeast cleanse, but this doctor was pretty much like, if you don't need to be on a prescription, like we'll try everything else first. So I was doing the yeast cleanse, waiting for my food allergy test to get back, and it turned out I had 36 different food allergies. My immune system likes to attack food. So I had to cut all these foods out, and for a year that was my life. I had a very restricted diet. So between the yeast cleanse and cutting out all the foods, I very quickly lost 40 pounds. And at this point, I didn't even exercise whatsoever. I was going to beauty school full time. That's all I really did was beauty school and eat vegetables. One thing led to another, and I spent that first year, so 18 to 19, just with a very limited restricted diet, and it was very hard to figure out how to eat. So there's a couple of times going to restaurants that I would cry, or I would be at the store trying to figure out what I could make that would taste good, and I would just get super frustrated and cry because there was just the options were far and few between. So eventually I figured it out, and then I started getting sick again. So I ended up going back to the homeopathic doctor, and he had me start doing LDI shots, which is low dose immunotherapy shots. So that was for food, and he also made the comment, he was like, if you're in beauty school, you're being exposed to chemicals all the time, and your body could be negatively forming an allergy to your jaw, essentially is what he said. That really, I don't know, connected, sparked a fire, I guess you could say, I don't know. So I was like, what does he mean? My body's reacting negatively to the chemicals I'm around at school. What does that even mean? Because at this point I learned a lot about food. So I knew so much about food, so much about the bad things that were in food, the good things that were in food. At this point I felt pretty educated on food. And then he said that, and I was like, wait, so there's like this whole other unhealthy aspect to like our day-to-day lives, and I don't know anything about it. I started doing these allergy shots for food, and I started looking into products. And that's like kind of when I really got truly upset, because there's so many things that are put in our products on a day-to-day basis that we're using around our babies and our families that are literally making us sick. And they cause so many horrible side effects, and it's just allowed. And it really upset me at first when I first started learning about all of it, because I was like, how is this even legal? Like, how are people allowed to make these products, put them on the market, and we just use them and we have no idea? That's kind of how I came about essential oils, which is, I feel like, something that everyone on like a natural journey ends up finding at one point or another is some kind of an oil company. At first I used the ones at the grocery store, and all I did was burn my skin. Even the ones in the natural food section, like, no. One thing led to another, and by the time I got pregnant with my son, I found a really good, high quality oil company. And so between really good food choices, or for the most part, I'm definitely not perfect. You know, we do have special occasions and stuff, but I know so much about food, and I'm always learning more about food, our products, and everything else. I'm not 100% chemical free at this point, and I kind of thought that that would be good, because I know some stuff about being natural and chemical free, and I can share that with you guys. And if someone knows something I don't, I would love to learn, and I would love to, you know, figure out more products that are safer for my family than some of the stuff we use right now. I'd love to share the stuff that I've found out so far. That's what the purpose of this channel is going to be, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very terrified about it, because like, this speaking to a camera business is very intimidating. This is like the third or fourth time my husband's turned the camera on for me, but I'm very excited. So thank you. If you got this far into the video, you're super awesome. Thank you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.